Hi, my name is Elaine Butera. Today I will be discussing the question, does the socioeconomic status of a child's parent affect their education? Ask yourself this. What is your opinion on children's education with parents of a higher socioeconomic status? Did you know? An article written by Kristen Watson states, children living in poverty not only receive less education funding, but are also at a disadvantage with more intensive needs, such as learning disabilities or lack of prior education, than their affluent peers, which is unfortunate because the 51% of public school students in the U.S. come from low-income families. Do you see your state a part of the 51%? I do. It puts a lot in perspective to me, yet also explains a lot to me. Did you come from a higher socioeconomic household? What was your school system like? Money means more than you may know. I'll be showing a video by Melissa Kearney who talks about the economic despair on students in poverty.
Income distribution. Quality, but until this point, we've known much less about the consequences for poor kids. And what we're finding is that for low-income kids who grow up in states or cities with larger gaps between the bottom and the middle, they're more likely to drop out of school than kids just like them who live in states or cities with smaller gaps between the bottom and the middle of the income distribution. And this changes the way.
What is the despair effect? Students of poverty can see the socioeconomic gap. This has caused them to feel like they do not have a reason to try at school. These students are discouraged and have a mindset that they will never make it to the top, which is money and a successful future. Bruce D. Baker is a professor at the Graduate School of Education at Rutgers. He talks about topics such as school finance policy and direct business management, according to Shanker Institute. Countries and communities with more money are going to have better schooling because there are higher students' outcomes in these areas. When a school has less money to spend on students for resources such as early childhood programs, learning technology, and even higher quality teachers, it is proven to be a positive effect on students. Bruce D. Baker reviews the question, does money matter in education? And states, in short, money matters, resources that cost money matter, and more equitable distribution of school funding can improve outcomes. It is unfair to expect so much from students that are not having the same educational opportunities as those their age but with more resources. Do you think the way you were raised affected how you learned, thought, and made decisions in school? There are different advantages with higher socioeconomic students. Cognitive development is how the child's mind is made to think and deal with every situation in his life. Cognitive development is major brain development. How one is raised is extremely important. The way a child thinks, explores, learns, and makes decisions is important. This sets them up for how they will do all those things in the future. Parents in poverty or lower income cannot help their children with the help and resources they might need. Those resources could be tutors and even emotional support. Northwestern University economist Mathis Deepoke even stated, hyperparenting leads to inequities for society as a whole. And then he states, as wealthy parents continue to devote more time and resources to their kids, it suggests inequality will become even larger in the future. Something as little as time a day from your parent is not being gave to students in poverty. Ask yourself this, is there a stereotype between lower income school systems? What does this look like for you? In this chart right here, you can see that the brown is higher income students and the blue is lower income students. There goes from when they begin in first grade all the way to college graduates. Oxfam report stated, across the developing world, a child from a poor family is 7 times less likely to finish secondary school than a child from a rich family. 7 times is a huge difference. Richer students cannot help that their parents are rich, and poor students cannot help that their parents are poor. but this comes to show how much the socioeconomic status of one's parents really do matter. Ask yourself this: do you think children start at an equal point in life when it comes to education? As we begin to conclude, look at this racetrack and the runner's starting point. One can see that each person starts somewhere lower than the one next to them. Lower socioeconomic students cannot be compared to those their age and in their grade that have higher socioeconomic status. As much as one can say that students are given the same opportunities, we have to take in home lives, the mental health, and advantages they may not share because of their parents' socioeconomic status. Here are my resources.